Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Ben, and this is my Pekakucha, I think is how you pronounce it, presentation. It's called Deathlands, a series out of time. I'm going to get into that later, but I want to talk about first what is Deathlands. It's a book series that was started in 1986. It's still kind of going today. It was published by Golden Eagle or Gold Eagle under the with the pen name James Axler for the multitude of authors that have worked on it. It's the setting is a little. I think it's really good. It's 100 years after a nuclear war in 2001. It takes place mainly in mainland USA, but there are other ones that go to like Alaska or like Hawaii or some islands. I think there's even a Russian one. So it's a very interesting sci-fi post-apocalypse series. Your basic plot overview is the group of companions. They are just trying to survive. They're trying to survive in Deathlands while fighting off humans, the elements, acid rain, stickies, and other mutants. And they're just looking for a place to settle down. Why is this a series out of time? Like this series is it that has a difference than what most people would think. A series at a time in this instance is a series that was before its time. It was released in the wrong era. And with the craze that we have now of post-apocalypse, zombies, games, movies, TV shows, other books, it would have been better to release now and it would have gotten a lot more attention and a lot more popularity. The reason this one isn't is because of these factors. No mainstream success. The tie-ins that it had one movie and it was not that good. But there is still some hope and it could be very successful if it had been released today. The mainstream success it never really came from Deathlands. Sure, it's been published for 30 years. It's an ongoing series that's been published for 30 years. But it's more indie than it is mainstream. And the publisher closed in 2015. So that didn't really help. There was one movie, and it was a Sci-Fi Channel original movie for Deathlands. Reviews are not that good. I've never actually seen it, mainly because I read the reviews and I'm like, I'm going to stick away from this, keep with the books. This series has a great lore behind it, along with its sister series Outlander, which is set 100 years in the future from Deathlands. So there's a lot of lore that could be adapted into a different series. And with the media that we have today, the amount of it that we have with Netflix doing originals, HBO doing originals, games, books, movies, and a lot of it is a post-apocalypse and stuff like that. From the War Z to Metro Exodus to Fallout to the Book of Eli to Division 2, all of those are technically post-war, post-apocalypse type games or movies or books. With World War Z, it's all three. Why? Here's the thing that I want to tell you about. You're probably wondering, why am I making this? Why am I making it this presentation on this? I'm going to tell you. Because it is such a good series and it is so well written for a good amount of the episodes or a good amount of the books that I think this deserves a new chance. It deserves a chance at more mainstream success because of how good it is. How I'm going to use a word that's probably going to get under skin. How badass it is. And you're also wondering, how could you bring this back? How could you do it? And kind of to tie this in with my degree program, the best way I can see is through games. That would be probably the best way to do it. But the question is, what kind? Single player multiple installment games or a live service, always online kind of game? There's pros and cons to both ways of doing it for Deathlands. With multiple installments, you could do the books, cover the 5 books, have a very hard survival FPS RPG type thing. With the amount of companions that they have, where there's 7 in the group, you could have co-op with 7 people. And it could cover multiple books. With a live service, having a mat trans system in the game, a matter transfer system that teleports you from a readout to another, or from one to another, you could do that. You could stay away from the main book and just have an open world. Do it better than Fallout 76, but have an open world. What would be better for it? For me personally, I would love to make a game that is following the books with multiple installments, more than a live service one. But I think either would actually work well. This series, it might be out of time, but it would benefit immensely from these new mediums that we have. They didn't have games back then, but we do now. And I love this series, and it's a life goal of mine to make it into a great game. And I'm hoping I don't get docked points for talking about games.